My friends, I'm going to do 4 album reviews on this time. I'm going to talk about the first 4 albums by Keel. Yes, I know they made a few more after this, but I'm not going to talk about those. I'm going to talk about Lay Down the Law, The Right to Rock, The Final Frontier, and the self-titled Keel album. Alright? So we start with, my favorite is the first one. Lay Down the Law is epic. It's the only album, I would say, out of all these, that I like every single song on it. You know, starting off with Thunder and Lightning, great traditional metal. That's the thing about Keel, man. I know a lot of people don't like Keel, can't get past his screechy screams and stuff. I love it, man. I do love it. And man, is he tall. I met him once. Holy crap, he's tall. I met him a few times when I went to Rockin' Pod in Nashville. He lives over there, and I seen him do the Keel Fest, you know, and I seen him perform acoustically, and yeah, I'm a fan. I know it got a little ridiculous there when he became like a country singer, and he was on that one VH1 show saying, I like traded my beach house in Malibu and bought this old pickup truck, and I was like, really? You could afford a beach house in Malibu? I don't think Keel sold that much. At least not so much where you can buy a beach house in Malibu. Come on. But anyway, I dig the old stuff. I mean, I got turned on to Keel because of Steeler, and I did do a review of Steeler not so long ago up on this channel, and that's how I discovered Keel. And yeah, and then he released all these albums that did get good press. I mean, not the first album, because that came out on Shrapnel. Man, what an album, though. I can't... I'll get into it, how much I love Lay Down the Law. So let me get into it. We start off with Thunder and Lightning. Great opening track, total traditional metal. Love it. Then the title track, Lay Down the Law. Pretty badass. Then the amazing Speed Demon. This song rules, especially on this album. I'll get into the other album when they re-recorded it, but this is the essential version. And if you would ask Ron Keel, he'll say it's the other version, but not me, man. I like that one. Then we got Princess of Illusion, which is a little mellow song that I was hoping he'd play that at Keel Fest, because at Keel Fest he was doing like his whole career, you know, but he didn't play Princess of Illusion. I was hoping, but you know, what can you do? Then we got Born Ready, Ready to Rock. Total 80s cheeseball traditional metal that I absolutely love. Born Ready rules. Now the next song, when you flip the album over, it's a song called Metal Generation. Man, in the 80s, if a band released a song with heavy metal or metal in the title, number one, I'm going to love the song. I'm telling you, there's not one song with the title metal in the cover back then that I've heard that always will never sucked. And Metal Generation, awesome tune, man. Then the next one is Till Hell Freezes Over, which is another ballady song, which is great. I dig it. And then my all-time favorite Keel song, Tonight You're Mine, rules. When I interviewed Keel on my podcast and I brought it up, I said, you know, how much I love that song. And then he referred to You're the Victim, which is, you know, Tonight You're Mine re-recorded on Right to Rock, where he liked that version more. Not me, man. The version that shines is the version on this album, Lay Down the Law. And also, and then it ends with a Rolling Stones cover, Let's Spend the Night Together, which is my least favorite song on here, but it's still not good. It's still, I mean, it's still good. And I love it, man. It's you know, it's a good traditional metal version of the song. I have no complaints. Lay Down the Law, in my opinion, is the greatest Keel album. Alright, the next album, The Right to Rock. And it was produced by Gene Simmons under the label Gold Mountain Records, which was distributed by A&M Records. And when the band started recording the album, drummer Bobby Marks left. He was replaced by different drummers like Fred Corey, who later went on to be in Cinderella, Barry Brandt, who was in Angel, and the late great Steve Riley, who played on the entire album, but left the band to join Wasp. So he didn't really get credited. Dwayne Miller eventually became the band's permanent drummer right before the album was released. And the band had only written 3 songs when the label sent them to the studio. You know, Keel covered 3 Gene Simmons demos and re-recorded 3 songs from the debut album. Tonight You're Mine was renamed You're the Victim, I'm the Crime. But yeah, I mean, this album was kind of a letdown, to be honest with you. I mean, I like the title track, Right to Rock. Back in the City is okay. I don't like, they redid Let's Spend the Night Together, the Stones cover on here. I don't like it as much as the Lay Down the Law version. Easier said than done. One of these Gene Simmons songs, you know, co-written with Mitch Weissman. Not good. So Many Girls, So Little Time. Predictable Gene Simmons demo that he wrote it with a guy called Howard Rice. Not good. Then the next song is called Electric Love, which not a fan. Don't dig it. And then they re-recorded Speed Demon. Now, I'm not saying this version is bad. It's rocks. I love Speed Demon. It's my second favorite Keel song after, you know, Not You're the Victim, I'm the Crime. Tonight You're Mine. That's the version I like. But, you know, Speed Demon's okay. Get Down is total Gene Simmons song. And it's not that good. I don't dig it. And then the last song is You're the Victim, I'm the Crime, which I prefer Tonight You're Mine. But yeah, I'm not really big on this album. I feel like most of it is, I don't know. I think they were just so excited to have Gene Simmons recording the album and using some of Gene's songs that they thought it was going to be a big hit, but no, it didn't really do that well. I mean, it did all right. I remember the Right to Rock video was on MTV, played, you know, quite a few times. But, and I love that video. It's so cheeseball. You know, the little kid running around and running away from people that were trying to outlaw rock. But we have the right to rock. But yeah, it's like whatever. All right, the next album, The Final Frontier. And Gene Simmons produced this one as well, but luckily, Gene Simmons didn't add none of his crappy demos to this album. I guess he learned his lesson with Right to Rock. But this is an improvement, definitely an improvement from Right to Rock. And I think this was when Keel was at their most popular. At this time, they won Best New Artist, I believe, on Metal Edge magazine, or one of these magazines. And I saw this tour. It was Accept, Helix, and Keel. And man, were they energetic. They were really, really good that night. And I got to bring up, like, Mark Ferrari and Brian J. Both amazing guitar players, man. And Greg Chason on bass, which is related to, what was his name? The guy from Badlands. That was his brother. And, you know, Dwayne Miller on guitar. But, yeah, you know, it's got its moments. I like the first track, the title track, The Final Frontier is good. Rock and Roll Animal is kind of dated. It's a little dated. Does a cover of Because the Night, which was a Patti Smith group cover, which Bruce Springsteen wrote. It's good. It was the first video for the album, but it didn't do jack squat. But I think it was a nice cover. Not bad at all. Next, Here Today, Gone Tomorrow. Kind of lame. It could. It sounds like a Gene Simmons demo, you know. But the next song kicks a lot of ass. Arm and a Leg. That's what I'm talking about. See, I like when Keel does those killer traditional metal songs. There's a lot of power to their like really killer metal songs. Love it. Next, Raised on Rock, I can do without it. Just Another Girl is kind of like it's a commercial song trying to get a hit. Don't care for it. Tears of Fire is the ballad on here, and they made a video for it. I absolutely love it. This is a great power ballad. I thought actually when this was released, MTV did play for a little bit. I thought this song was going to help them, but it didn't do jack squat. I guess people didn't buy into Tears of Fire, but I think it's a great tune. Nightfall is a little instrumental, and ending it with a killer heavy metal song like Arm and a Leg, a song called No Pain, No Gain. Absolutely skulls. And so we go to the last album I'm going to review. I know he has more after this, but I'm not going to talk about those because I'm not really too familiar with them. I did buy the first live one, but I'll talk about that when we get to it. It's the self-titled album, Keel. This was their fourth album, and it was released in June 1987. And this was the last album to feature guitarists Mark Ferrari and Brian Jay, as they left the band a year later. Although Jay can be heard on the live portion of the band's next release, Larger Than Live. They eventually rejoined Keel in 1998 to release Keel 4 Back in Action, and again in 2009 for the band's 25th anniversary. This was the band's first album since 1984's debut, Lay Down the Law, to be produced by someone other than Gene Simmons. And the song Calm Before the Storm was co-written by Jimmy Bain of Dio and Rainbow fame. And this one's a little more polished. I think they really wanted to break big. And this album did have a lot of potential, but it just didn't catch on. They even opened for Bon Jovi in Madison Square Garden, but nothing happened, you know. The opening track, United Nations, pretty badass song. They got a bunch of people to do backing vocals on it. You know, it's got a big, you know, anthemic chorus, you know, with a lot of voices. I dig it. Next song, Somebody's Waiting, which was the video for the album. It's great. You know, this is a song that they were banking on, man. They made a video kind of like Shot Through the Heart. I mean, that Bon Jovi song. I think it's called Bad Name. You Give Love a Bad Name. They made a video kind of like that, you know, straight ahead live footage, hoping, you know, it would catch on, but it didn't. The next song, Cherry Lane. This one, man, I don't know, man. This one could have been a hit. It's very commercial, and it's of the time, really. I think it's a great song. Cherry Lane is pretty badass. The next song, Calm Before the Storm, the song written by Jimmy Bain. Beautiful ballad. Absolutely love it. I think it's great. And the next song, King of Rock, I can care less about that. I don't care for it. I didn't care for It's a Jungle Out There either, or I Said the Wrong Thing to the Right Girl, or Don't Say You Love Me, or If Love is a Crime, I Want to Be Convicted. Now, it does have commercial appeal. I can see these songs become hits because it really was catered for like the Bon Jovi type of crowd back then. It had that commercial appeal, but this album was not pushed. And it ends with 4th of July, which is another one of those Keel metal songs that I absolutely love. And, you know, I did buy Larger Than Live, and I didn't care for it. It does have, didn't it have that Pantera song? Or maybe not. I know there's a song, Mark Ferrari, Proud to Be Loud. No, I think that was on the next one, the Keel 4, Back for the Attack. I think that was on there, Proud to Be Loud. But yeah, they released that. I heard the live. I bought the live one, didn't care for it. I did hear Back in Action, didn't care for it. And then they had another one called The Streets of Rock and Roll and in 2010, but I didn't care for it. So that's it. That is my Keel review for the first 4 albums. What do you all think of Keel? You love them? You hate them? Because I know there's some that love them, and I know there's more that hate them. I love it. I love some old Keel, man. I put it on now and then. I don't play it regularly, but when I do play it, it's fun, man. It's fun rock and roll and traditional metal all rolled into one. And, you know, Ron Keel, man, he's a good dude. I've had him on my podcast. I interviewed him in Rockin' Pod. And, you know, me and my co-host, Ian, you know, we're both Sammy Hagar haters. But Keel's not. Ron Keel likes Sammy Hagar. So we goofed on him a lot about that. It was good times. And he's a good sport. He laughed about it. But anyway, there you go, everybody. Thank you so much for watching my Keel review. And please leave your comments below what you feel about Keel. And like the video. It's good for the YouTube algorithms. And please subscribe to my channel if you haven't. And ring that little notification bell. And stay frosty. Listen to Black Sabbath. You know, Keel was almost in Black Sabbath. You can hear that in the interview I did with him. Spencer Crawford was trying to get him in Black Sabbath. It's a whole crazy story. And smack him a gob.